Good morning and a warm welcome to each one of you. In association with the SJK Foundation, Sundar Jesaram Kataria Foundation and International Certification Services, we're delighted to host you for the 234th virtual webinar, Enriching Series of Sadgun Sang. I'm Sumit Kataria, your host for the day, and let me quickly take you through the agenda. We'll have a virtual inauguration by Dr. Sundar Kataria. We will invoke the blessings of the deity by chanting the Gayatri Mantra 3 times. I'll introduce you to our speaker, Shri Yogesh Jain. We'll have a Q&A session, and then we'll have a closing session. So that will be the agenda for the day. Thank you once again for taking the time out and being with us for this informative series known as Sadgun Sang. Let me tell you about our CEO, Dr. Sundar Kataria. Dr. Sundar Kataria is the brain behind Sadgun Sang, conceived and led by Dr. Sundar Kataria, driven with the mission to elevate quality, safety, and environment awareness in the industry. It's a series of educative, informative events which raise learning and thereby increase the level of the quality within the industry. A brief about Kataria, sir. He is a mechanical AIME, honorary doctorate in business management. He started his career with building the first nuclear power plant at RAPP, Rawatbata Kota. After that, he contributed to developing India's oil field, Bombay High, through EIL. He was heading the industry and offshore division for DNB for 2 decades, and then he founded ICS. Lifetime Achievement Award from NACE International, which is now known as the AMPP, and he's received several recognitions, national and both international. I request Kataria sir to inaugurate the session virtually. Please join me in reciting the Gayatri Mantra 3 times. Let me introduce Sadgun Sang to you. Basically, Sadgun Sang, and let me introduce the brief spirit of Sadgun Sang. So, Sad means truth, Gun means virtue, and Sang means togetherness or association. Together, Sadgun Sang is a platform built on truthful associations with virtuous intentions. A space where wisdom is shared, values are deepened, and where we connect through the power of collective learning. Each session is an opportunity for us to grow together and reflect inwards while acquiring practical insights for our personal and professional growth in our lives. Let me introduce you to today's topic, graphology. Graphology is a very, very, very interesting topic. It's derived from Latin terms grapho and logos. Grapho means writing, logos means the theory. So typically graphology would intend to mean the writing, the theory behind the writing. And we have today with us Mr. Yogesh Jain, who's going to take us through. I'll introduce you to him in just a bit. Have you ever wondered what your handwriting reveals about your personality? Yes, it does. Today's session will dive into the fascinating world of graphology, or also known as the handwriting analysis, a science that goes beyond ink and paper to help uncover psychological traits, behavioral patterns, and emotional tendencies simply through how we write. Whether you're curious about understanding yourself better, improving your interactions with others, or learning how graphology can support your human resources, your interaction with people, education, or even recruitment, this session has something great for you. Without wasting any more time, let me introduce you to the speaker of today, Mr. Yogesh Jain. Yogesh Jain is a stalwart within the industry, needs no typical introduction, but I shall have the honor of introducing him to you. Director and Chief Consultant of Niche Quality Solutions Private Limited, India. He's a B Mechanical with a MS in Consultancy Management, a MTech in Future Studies and Planning. He's a certified lead auditor for 91445 FSSC, BRC, HACCP, and 27001, which is Information Security. He's a certified internal auditor for IATF 16949, AS 9100, and 50,001 and 37,000. He's a trainer for Z, which is Zero Defect, Zero Effect, a mission led by our Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji. Six Sigma, he's a green belt at Six Sigma, he's a black belt, and other core quality tools. It's an honor to have you, sir, with us. Welcome you. It is all yours, and we are very, very eager to hear from you, sir. I'll stop sharing now, and you can share, sir.
ग्राफोलॉजी पे करें ग्राफोलॉजी व्हाट इज दैट बताता हूँ
Good morning, Yogesh ji. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Yes, we can see your presentation. If you can just move it to full screen, sir. Perfect, sir.
So I am honored to be again part of this Sadgun Sang series. This must be my fifth or sixth presentation. I have been always taking up some technical topic pertaining to our field of consulting. This is a departure where we are taking something pertaining to handwriting science, as they call it. And it is also as much necessary in the field of consulting and certification or handling people, which we are all into. We come across with people in our various walks of life. We tend to interact with them. We happen to see their handwriting. We also write our pieces and deliver them during our consulting activity or during our interaction with our people. Though because of so much digitalization, handwriting has become a very small activity now, or a very low life activity, but still it is considered to be a very great tool to understand the personality trait of a person. So how your brain is organized, you have a left brain which takes care of the right hand control. So you know, behind your neck the nerves cross with each other, and the right body is controlled by left side of the brain, and left side of the body is controlled by right side of the brain. And you have writing skills, that is languages, scientific skills, logic, mathematics, controlled by left hemisphere, emotional expression, spatial awareness, creativity, etc., are governed by left hand control. Together, both of the hemisphere help us in developing our personality as a whole. So, what graphology means? It is an act of writing involves conscious, subconscious mind, nerves, muscles, fingers. We have strokes which give us a slant, which have loops, which have spacing, margins. Sometimes it is narrow at the top, wide at the bottom. Sometimes we leave space on the right side. Sometimes we go so much crowded on the right side that we tend to find the pages small. Some people write with great pressure, and the next page or back of the page does not become good enough to write. And many such kind of things are there. It's a small time that we are going to present something like an hour or so, and therefore we might not be able to cover the whole science of graphology. It will generate some kind of curiosity, and we will discuss some traits which you might find useful. Then later on, you might take it up. So as I told you, handwriting occurs through interactions of many structures of circuits in brain. And in fact, whenever a person gets a paralytic attack, handwriting is one thing which suffers. So that has to be understood, that handwriting is your brain function in a way. As Sumit sir in the introduction conveyed, that graphology is combination of two words, graphene and logos. So it is science of handwriting. The first person which brought it out or tried to study was Camillo Baldi in 1622 AD. It's a scientific method of identifying, evaluating, and understanding personality through the strokes and patterns revealed by handwriting. So, how you write, what you scribble, what you doodle speaks a lot about your personality. There are 2-3 disclaimers which I would like to state right away. One, good handwriting which looks very neat may still have some kind of traits or may still have some kind of curves or slant or some kind of loop which might be showing some kind of disorder or issue in your personality. On the other hand, if you might have a very bad hand, so your teacher might be speaking all through your childhood, or your mentors have been speaking, but the strokes are not so bad, and from the handwriting point of view, they might be good. So please do not be under impression that a very good handwriting has to have a very good personality. It may not be the case. Second, I would like to say as a precaution, it's a very personal type of analysis. So if you delve into understanding the handwriting related nuances, we would request you to consider consulting a person or revealing anything about the nature only in private to him and in one person with you. Do not share anything, even if the bestest friend of his or her is along, available, and exercise caution. Sometimes you need not reveal anything. You might just understand what kind of trait a person has. If that helps you in dealing with that person, fine. If not, again, fine. And the business goes along. So it can help you. It can help someone else who might benefit with you if you learn about the trait. But it is not something of public consumption, because personalities have their own security issues, and it is not a good thing to step on something which is so dear, so private, and so personal to anybody's life. So this kind of caution you must exercise is what I wanted to share at the first place. There are professional handwriting examiners which are called graphologists. We come across several handwriting analysts which are there in court of law who are into criminal handwriting analysis, or they have a bent of mind to analyze from the crime related point of view. They also have a large understanding, but they look for criminal trait only and they restrict themselves to that. And they are professional, they are highly paid, and it's a big science in itself, therefore. It reveals mental, physical state of the person. So intuition, instincts, intelligence, relationship patterns, creativity and talents, habits, likes, dislikes, emotions, feeling, temperament, what not that graphology might reveal. So right from childhood till adolescence to adulthood, lot of things get formed and they change also. So it is not that what you were at the age of 9, you would continue to be at the age of 19 or 29 or 49 or 69. You may change your personality, so will be the change reflect in your handwriting, and that way you must be very sure that you are analyzing the current handwriting or you are analyzing a writing for which you say that disclaimer also that I am analyzing this piece of paper or this piece of writing from the perspective of the state of the person who was writing this piece at that point of time only. This must be very clearly again conveyed and understood by the people involved. So common features of graphology, you have size, you have baseline, you have pressure, and everything reveals something. We will look at it. Slant, right slant, left slant, no slant or straight, zone, upper zone, middle zone, lower zone, spacing between letters, and speed in writing and margins. So when we say large letters, you may be outgoing, friendly. Average letters, you are well adjusted, adaptable, do not want to take risk. You have a middle ground, you want a stable life. Small letters, you may be more shy and timid. Sometimes you are meticulous and would like to have intense focus. PhD people who are doing PhD or scientists who want more focus in life, they would like to go for a small letter.
I think Yogesh sir has got disconnected. He'll join in again. Please hold on. Okay, so while still Yogesh sir joins in, let us understand is how many people understand graphology or have had any kind of experience with graphology. Let me put up something to intrigue you. How many people believe that it is accepted? So I have given you permission to unmute and you have permission to chat as well as start your video. So I look forward to some answers. Do you think signatures, the way we sign, does it reflect your personality? How many people believe that? How many people believe that this study is a scientific study and is acceptable even in forensics for verification of question documents, for verification? So Nivriti says yes, it does reflect. Okay.
No.
So, Nivriti, any more insight? Yes, Sham Ispute, you were saying something.
ये प्रिडिक्ट करने के जैसे रहता है सर. हर एक व्यक्ति, जैसा मैंने आपका हैंडराइटिंग देख लिया, वो मैं प्रिडिक्ट कैसे करता, मेरे दिमाग से एक ऐसा लगता है.
But Spute ji, this is a study, so it is the prediction is also scientific. जैसे योगेश जी ने अभी चालू किया था, so I'm just taking that session forward till he joins in. So when people reflect, so it's about the slant. Sir talked about, from that 90-degree, whether you're going backward slant, forward slant, or you're aligned. People sign upwards, people sign downwards. All these mean something. Like imagine if I'm writing my signature only as SK instead of Sumit Kataria, I write SK. It suggests that I'm a very private kind of a person. I'm a reserved personality, and I'm something who doesn't like to reveal too much about myself. A lot of people, write their name and then cover it around. जैसे पूरा ऊपर नाम को cover करते हैं. So they're easy. That is concealment. So you try to conceal things. So these are various traits. It's a science by itself. Some people write their name and then they scratch it off all across. How many people understand? Have you ever read about graphology? It's a very, very interesting and intriguing science. Yes, Yogesh sir is back. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Allow my screen to share.
Yogesh sir, I was intrigued by one observation. Sumit ji, are you around? Yeah, you're around.
Yes, I am there, very much there.
Allow me to share, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, I'll tell you.
You can.
One thing. Two things, two observations. One is that there are hundreds of doctors, whose handwriting is horrible, right? Horrible handwriting. But does that mitigate their overall character and personality? Because these people have gone through 15 years of hard work, and I think they're very, very clear in their heads. I mean, handwriting is horrible, but clarity of concepts, clarity of what is to be done in an emergency, clarity of everything is super. Clarity of even how to manage their finances, for example. Everywhere. Because I know one particular doctor in Jaipur, a neurologist, is the father of a batchmate. At the age of 75, is making around 3 crores a month, as a neurosurgeon. But his handwriting is horrible, but absolute clarity of thought, absolute clarity. So, I have not concluded anything. Only thing
So,
is,
Sharma ji, I think we should wait for this session to get over and we'll learn more about what handwriting reveals. कि handwriting के पीछे आदमी कैसा दिखेगा. So we'll allow this and we'll reserve those questions for our closing round. Over to you, Yogesh sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah, there was a hiccup in the net.
Yeah,
and
no
again,
problem.
I'm back. So extremely small writing shows rounded letters point out imaginative, creative, and artistic hand. So painters, artists, and we have a big analogy about art, science, engineering, and technology. So more of the imaginative side of people, creative people, artistic people, those who are into web designing activity, those who are into portfolio designing activity, they should be having round letters. Pointed ones, they show intensity, aggression, intelligence. So head of marketing, head of new initiatives like product development might have pointed letter when they are intense into their way of working. Connected letters, when we say that connected letters are there means it's a cursive handwriting and it shows a methodical way, an orderly way of person approaching life. Another fourth disclaimer or fifth disclaimer I am giving, most of the handwriting analysis science is based on cursive handwriting related analysis. So please do not attempt to analyze a writing if it is a print form of handwriting where letters are not connected with each other or it is not a cursive handwriting. From the size, slant, etc., you may still find out something, but a better picture emerges when it's a cursive handwriting. Let us go further. So aggressive handwriting is have some kind of letters looking like shown in this slide, Y, Q, I, J or Q. Hard right upstroke that replaces a lower loop. In fact, I have a pack of card, like we play 52 playing cards like that. I have a pack of card and these are the photograph of that card. And I got myself trained with a handwriting analyst of America, Bart Baggett, and I visited Bombay for 3 days, way back something like 20 years ago or more, to learn about these things. Spacing. Wide spacing enjoy independence and open spaces. Dislike being overwhelmed and place a high value on freedom. Narrow spacing choose to be around others as much as possible. Dislike being alone. Wide line spacing, high awareness of boundaries. Narrow spacing or narrow line spacing, poor time management and struggle to stay organized. So the way we are writing, the spaces that we are putting into are also crucial to understand somebody's hand. Slant. This is a very important area to look at. If you have a slight right slant, that is considered to be good, a little bit emotional, caring, warm, outgoing, very much on the right side, sometimes become a paranoid person, overly emotionalistic and does not look good. Straight, writer tries to keep their emotion in check, mind rules their heart, and left slant will conceal their emotion. You are some kind of introvert, cold, indifferent in your approach. So this also needs to be there, understood and reviewed in that light. So first handwriting is slant is towards left. A person is secretive. Person does not want to reveal his personality. On the right, heart-centered, sentimental, impulsive. If you find it too much slanted, it's not very good. And if it is straight, the person rules by logic. He is pragmatic. So a chart I have shown, E plus, impulsive, needs touching, extremely extrovert, emotional storms, a natural born actor, extreme mood swing, ruled by heart, not head. So E plus is not desirable actually. Anything between BC or CD is okay. AB is on the logic side, more on the logic side. And the moment you become FA or the straight line becomes the complete logic. More on the left side, you become introvert person. And heart is relegated behind mind. If you write on both sides, you have a dual personality and sometimes you become emotional, sometimes you are logical, sometimes you lose that logic and emotion and would like to conceal your personality. So those type of writings are also possible to see into certain characteristics. Ambivert, shown by a person slant that is midway between vertical and hard right slanted. Very much leftward, emotionally withdrawn person, will not go much into detail. Right hand slant, emotionally responsive. So this right hand slant should be around 10 to 20 degree from the 90-degree straight line. When we say 30 degrees from the baseline or 60 degree from the perpendicular line, it becomes too much slant and completely the heart completely rules over mind, and that is not good. Loops, narrow L loop, wide L loop, narrow E loop, and wide E loop. So whenever it is wide, you are more open-minded, unstructured, easygoing, relaxed. Narrow, you have tension, you restrict yourself, you have skepticism, you have suspicion towards others. Dot. This third dot is generally seen in the female handwriting when they are adolescent, more of adolescent. You have a carefree and childlike spirit. Slash over the eye, you do not do it purposefully, but it gets developed. You may be overly critical of yourself and always in a rush. Dot high over the eye, you tend to be creative and free-spirited. Dot right over eye, you are very structured and pride yourself on your attention to detail. So closer the dot, you are attentive to detail. Flying high, you are creative and free-spirited. Circle on the eye, you are carefree and childlike. Attentive to detail, dots on I, J, being close to stem, we have already seen. How the T is crossed. Now, when we were taught, we call the trainer called it as T party. So this is a very common trait which we all Indians have. We cross our T at a lower level, closer to the baseline, and it shows a low self-esteem. Cross at the very top of the T, your high cross means you may mimic your high goals and high self-esteem. The opposite of it, you may have a low self-esteem. So short cross, you may feel apathetic toward the topic at hand. Long cross, you are probably an extremely enthusiastic, determined person. Cross right in the middle of the T, a lower cross may indicate that you have low standard for yourself and struggle with your low self-esteem. And 90 to 95% of handwriting of Indians, as I have analyzed, is of the lower T. Yes, Chandan? Want to say something? Or the topic is a little longer. Let us go in the end and take the questions over there. Please allow me to finish this and then we will take the questions. Baseline analysis. If you write straight, horizontal, without the line going upward or downward, it's a good goal direction. The moment you take it upward or it goes upward, because you do not take it actually, it is your trait which takes it upward. It shows optimism. In C, it goes into pessimism. If you have uneven base, it shows moody and restlessness. So, if the writing is showing C or D, alarm should ring that the person might not be positive. They are always pessimistic in nature. They have mood swings and they are restless. A straight hand or horizontal line, writing in horizontal line or upward line is always good to interact with. 3 zones of handwriting. Upper zone is intellectual zone. Lower zone is physical and material drives, sexual drives, etc., wealth drive, etc. And middle zone is pertaining to day-to-day concerns. Now, why? First, why is normal. Second, why is exaggerated tendencies. So, when we say physical and material drive in the lower zone, the moment the lower loop is exaggerated, it shows exaggerated tendency also. If you hook it it becomes sexual perversion. If you double hook it, it becomes persistence. If you just take it down and do not retract it, it becomes loner. And again, you will find this trait very common. This trait you will find very common of a loner. Aggressive, when it goes backward. This shows physical frustration. It doesn't close the loop and you leave it halfway. This is clannish. And there is one more meaning to it. It is fear of success. This is again very common into handwriting, into G, Y, and sometimes F also. When the lower lobe does not go to baseline, it should go up like this or like this, but turns back before the baseline. If it comes down, we will discuss it over there, fear of success. It means up to 90-95% you put your effort completely. And when the last leg is remaining, you fear or you develop a fear whether it will be right or not, and you come back. If somebody else finishes the job, the credit goes to him or her, and you are left lurching. And you also curse yourself why you have done like that. But if you work on this trait, so sixth thing I'm telling you, if you work on your handwriting, it improves your personality trait also. So this is a very good way of looking at it. If you have any bad trait or questionable trait into your handwriting, please work upon it consciously. If you do that, you will have a benefit of it and your characteristic would improve from that exercise also. So this must be looked in a very big way. This must be looked loner. It is your choice if you want to be a loner. But if you want to be into marketing, if you want to be a sociable person, please try to develop a normal Y writing tendency. So Y itself tells you a lot of things. Fear of success, as I told you, G or Y, when the loop turns back before touching the baseline, 95% work you have done. But before 5% is done, last 5% is done, you develop a fear of success and leave the job or ask someone else to take it up, and you lose your credit, your future, your everything. Please try to avoid this thing if you have this trait. Socially selective. Long, narrow loops. When it goes to, from the baseline, it goes to higher side and lower side also it comes to touch the next baseline. Ideally, when you write your handwriting, your lower lobe or lower loop should not touch the higher loop of the next line. So you should be very careful in developing your loop. Even I have this problem. My lower loops are longer and sometimes quite close to the next baseline or next line's baseline. You have to be improving on that. This is anti-social. When there is no loop, you retract and there is no loop formed. You are displaying something called as anti-social tendency. If the loop is not closed, as I told you, it is showing the sign of physical frustration. And if it is a broad loop as shown in P, it shows need for physical activity. This person needs physical activity. So you must give some kind of benefits to him or her or activity to do. If you are able to give him or her some activity to do, then they will be doing it in a better way. And this trait is speaking like that. T, normal variations are shown in the first set. Sensitive to criticism when the loop is rounded. Stubborn when the gap is higher between two legs. Irritable when the line crosses on the left side, it is lower, and right side, it is higher. Impatient on the left side, it is higher, and it is a slant. Procrastinator, if it is on the left side only, it does not cross the right side. So you are trying to remain in the past. If you are trying to remain in the past, you are a procrastinator. If you take it down, this stem, you are taking it down on the right side, it's a domineering characteristic. Sometimes your wife may be domineering, sometimes your boss may be domineering, and in certain cases, your subordinate may be also domineering. Sometimes a customer person may be domineering. So by seeing this loop, you may mentally prepare yourself how to handle such a person. So handwriting gives you a exciting way of managing things, and you would be really enjoying these things once you take note of such formations in the handwriting of the person you are reviewing. This is sarcastic, persistent. This is self-reliant but lower self-esteem because it is cutting at the lower base, and this is religious, cerebral. Keywords to look over here is domineering, this lower T, and sensitive to criticism, stubborn also. Rest are still okay. Procrastinator, if you yourself are procrastinator, you must look out for that. If you find your subordinate as procrastination, look at this trait into their T. So these are the pictures of my card deck. This is low self-esteem. All T's are cut in the lower section. Higher self-esteem, all cut on the higher side of the T or higher side of the T bar. Sarcasm, when it is a artistic kind of cut by the horizontal bar. Self-critical, sometimes you self-criticize yourself, and this kind of writing comes about. It is you write backward. This is very important area to watch out. Dishonesty, lying. If there is a double loop like this, and I have found this into several people, sometimes into children of people, and I checked with their parents. If the child speaks lie, and they conveyed me, how did you come to know? And I told, sorry to say, but the handwriting says so. They asked me what to do. I told them, ask him to work on this loop, this lying loop, and this will improve the possible tendency of it. If this is one-sided loop, it shows self-deceit, means you are lying to yourself. Here you are lying to other also. And if there is an open loop, it is a talkative one. Here the loop is on the other side. It is secretive or confidential. So you are probably keeping something confidential from other, still okay. But this is just not acceptable. This you need to be checking and definitely working on. Person is utterance is taken with pinch of salt. Very much important, very revealing and time tested. So again, my deck pictures have come. Lying, secretive, self-deceit, first loop, talkative, open A, open O, open E, secretive. Your side of loop is there. The other side of loop is there in, your side of loop is in self-deceit and other side of loop is in secretive. And blunt, there is no loop. Issues with opposite sex, when there is a claw kind of arrangement. Stinger-like hook in the middle zone, letter C, D or A. This is a stinger-like. You see, C, So again, my connection dropped. I am very sorry. I am working from the client this thing. Please allow me the screen share. Hello. Yeah, thanks a lot. So we were looking at argumentative desire for attention, fluidity of thought, self-conscious, comprehensive thinker. In self-consciousness, the aim goes from lower to higher. So in the through two loops, one is lower and other is higher. Not a very common tendency. If you show a retracted F on the back, it shows persistence. And when it is a print kind of handwriting, very stable, straight, lower and upper lobe are very balanced to each other. Eye is just top on the eye stem. The back slant and forward slant are also very much controlled. This writing is known as a perfectionist handwriting. This writing is known as perfectionist. This backside lobe is for persistence. This is comprehensive thinker. Issue over here to look at is argumentative and issues with opposite sex. This you might find with lot of people into designing, fluidity of thought. So let us look at the cues in this sample. We see a persistence, realistic sense of self, self-reliant because of T, and Y is stayed down, loner, socially selective, physical frustration. The issue over here is that this is not a cursive handwriting. So ideally, I would say that I will take a disclaimer and say that since the writing is not very cursive, the analysis is not going to be 100% correct. O, honesty, frankness, open to suggestion. And A, good listener, notice extra marks at the ear level. So this is extra marks at ear level. Cumulative thinker, round or even flat topped M and N forming smooth letters. Directness, beginning vertical stroke on the lowercase t that go down and curve to the right. No beginning upstroke. So there is no left slant. You do not have any pass hanging on with you. Optimism, you write on a 45-degree note. Shows optimism. So this is a 45-degree handwriting. Lives for the moment. This person lives in present. And when you have such kind of artistic curves in your handwriting, this shows that you have a sense of humor. So now we will talk about a little bit about margin. If you have left-hand margin, you tend to dwell on the past and be overly nostalgic. Ideally, when you are writing the full page, and if the writing from the top is starting at 1 inches and the moment you complete the page, the lower portion of the left margin becomes 1.5 inch or 2 inches. Means you are progressive. And if the writing is slanted on the higher side or upper side, again you are optimistic. But if it is going down and your margin is reducing on the left side, you are pessimistic and you have those kind of issues also. Right hand margin, you might worry too much about the future and becomes anxious when thinking about what is ahead. Writing all over the page, you may have a racing mind that is constantly thinking of new ideas. So not much to contribute over here. Heavy pressure. Some people write so heavily that on the next page the impression comes. And in your criminology, this is big thing to discuss. And people take note of this in a big way. So you have high energy and take things very seriously, although you may be rigid and slightly unpredictable. Heavy pressure also signify a little bit of sexual activity. So you may be sexually more active also. If you have light pressure, you are likely to be sensitive and compassionate. You may lack energy and liveliness. So that goes. When we say heavy pressure, you display a little bit of sex energy. Light pressure, you may lack energy and liveliness. Now, study whether the writing was done slowly or in a rush. You will get some idea about. अगर rush में लिखा हुआ है, you may be extremely intelligent and you have thoughts well organized so that you are able to write fast. Sometimes you may be disorganized and impulsive. If the writing appears deliberate, you are probably a very conscientious person with great attention to detail. Sometimes you have something up your sleeve, and again, there is an issue with that. Such kind of pressure is well seen when you have physical paper in your hand. It is better to review then. Here we have all the slant. So this baseline is broken. Sometimes it is going left, sometimes it is going right. The writer pressure and size if writing the average indicates he usually has enough energy to handle daily activities. Emotional response is slightly inhibited, vertical writing. Now we are going to look at some signatures. So common thing in these signatures are that they are cutting themselves. So when you cut your signature, you are cutting your personality. Avoid it immediately. Extremely alarming. Depressed self-hatred, tendency to stab and punish oneself. Get rid of it. You should not cut your signature anywhere. You are trying to camouflage your signature. You want to hide your first name. You get defensive in public. You are too protective about yourself. Sometimes you may lie to protect yourself. And therefore, this also is a very common trait. Sometimes people are only known by their surnames. So they do not want to reveal their first name. And it is there in most of the people where they have a long winding name and they generally do not wish to reveal, and they go by surname, becomes Mr. J.T. Subramaniam or T.S. Subramaniam or N.S. and what N.S. stands for we don't know, what J.T. stands for we don't know, and the signature also speaks like that. Small signature. So lack of confidence, lack of courage to speak their mind. They begin to avoid social gathering. They have psychological problem. You should enlarge your signature if this is the case, but not too much. Or otherwise you will become bombastic also. So you should refrain from becoming bombastic, but parallelly it should not be very small. Trace back signature. So when the line goes back, ideally it should go from the left to right. But if it goes from right to left, from last stroke they go backward, from right to left. and draw the underline without lifting the pen. These people do not come out of their past. They think too much of the past matters. So correct it at the first go. Scribbled signature. They are in hurry, the mind is faster than hand. They tell others, I don't care. You can read my handwriting or not. Sometimes they don't want to reveal their personality also or their name also. So if the name is not readable, they don't want their personality to be revealed. Sometimes it is shown in the signatures, auditor signature, or some kind of report signatures where the auditor or the report writer does not want his personality or name to be revealed. Unless the name is printed, you won't find out who the person has signed. They seldom finish their task and blame others for the delay. Write your full name, it will slow you down a bit, but you will complete everything you do. So it works both ways, as I told you. Graphotherapy is also a science wherein if you work upon your handwriting, your trait will also improve. Now we have 3 signatures of Mukesh Ambani, Anil Ambani, Ratan Tata. I will not try to discuss this thing because after having the signature, we have taken the notes from the net, what the signature speaks about. I will share the presentation in PDF form to ICS and it will be available. You may go through it if needed, but this is a post-facto analysis, so not a good thing to do. And therefore, as of now, I would like to close my talk with again 2-3 disclaimers repeated right now. One, that if you have a bad hand, does not reveal that your traits are bad and you might be a good person. If your handwriting is good, that does not mean you may not have bad trait and you are perfectly all right. You may still have to work on certain areas of handwriting. So, handwriting or good handwriting does not have anything in particular. Second thing I would like to say that it's a cursive handwriting that we will be talking about or analyzing about, and on those we will be able to predict or work on our finding and working upon our personality. Signature, if you cut it, it is not good. You must improve those things. So whenever you work on your handwriting based on the trait, the definition that trait speaks about, you can change your personality also. And I have seen it happening. I have improved industrialists which showed a fear of success in 3 years' time. They could improve their turnover 3 times than they were doing for last 10-15 years before we came into their picture. So signature and fear of success, lying, such kind of traits, persistence, lower T, these are very important to note. I would like to close my talk over here. Would take question answer of about 5 minutes. A little busy, so I would like myself to be excused after 5 minutes. Forum is open. Yes, sir. Thank you. Hello. So we are nearing 12:10. It's already 12:05. Sushma Madam, Sumit sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You can stop sharing and ask.
Vijay Vishwakarma, under what circumstances?
Sir, we'll take the question. Just give me a minute before we take. Okay. आप stop share कर दीजिए ना sir.
मैं talk share कर देता हूँ. There is a question by Vijay Vishwakarma in the chat.
Sir, आप stop share कर दीजिए ना एक बार.
Stop share कर देता हूँ.
Yeah, no problem.
So there is a question by Mr. Vijay Vishwakarma in the chat that I am taking up. Under what circumstances we can do analysis to conclude the personality? When listening and writing, when writing thoughts, when just copying any note. best way is to take a A4 size paper without rule. So there should not be any line on it. A4 size. There should not be any scale or anything of that nature. And you have to write one full page on one side of the page. And that sample is good to analyze for yourself or for anyone else. Yes. So it can be a past handwriting also, 2 years ago, 2 days ago, 2 hours ago, anything. One story I can tell you. There was a sample given to Bart Baggett, from whom I learned handwriting, and he was asked to analyze that, and he told that this writing seems to be of a professor, a researcher, acclaimed personality of a educational field. But the person who showed the handwriting told him that he is a die-hard criminal waiting for being executed. And for past 20 years, he is in the jail. Then Bart Baggett insisted that this handwriting there must be of something like 20 years before. Whenever, check the past and make me understand if I am right or if I have to correct myself. When they found out, when the handwriting was written, or when that paper was written, they found out that the person was erudite professor at a very acclaimed university of US, and because of certain tensions with his wife, probably rape or something like that, he had to become a criminal. So such kind of stories are there. If you go to internet, you will find a lot of them. One Nivriti Magar, forensic professional. So you must be knowing a little bit more about graphology than me. Is it not possible for graphologists to analyze that if handwriting is not cursive or results show any variation? Sir, I am also an amateur. By hobby, I have learned. I attended 3 days class and analyzed maybe something like 500 samples on my own, comparing with the deck of cards which I have. But those who are into this profession, as I see you are a professional, forensic professional, you are better to comment upon and better to understand those things. This is my limited 2 cents with which I have contributed my side of story. So I reserve my comment to the knowledge I have. Yes, sir.
Yep. So a very big thank you to you, sir. Appreciate your session. Thank you so much, sir, for removing the time out. We will move to questions now. If there are any questions, we will take some questions. There are in the chat box which we've taken. Okay. So how many people think that handwriting analysis after this session? I need little interaction. So I request you all to please put on your videos so we can, make this session a last 10-minute session, a more learning and informative session, because with video off mode, we actually don't know who's doing what and whether you're listening also or no. So I request all of you all to please put your video on, whoever can. Thank you so much. Now, how many people, we all saw this session of a beautiful, amazing session of graphology. How many people actually believe graphology works? You can just raise your hand so we know the count. You've shared your screen, Pooja. Thank you. How many people believe that graphology works? You want to say something, Pooja? Because you've been put on spotlight. You're muted. Pooja, you're muted.
Hello.
No, only the speaker needs to go on spotlight. Arun, don't spotlight everybody. Only the speakers, whoever is talking, whoever question is on, put them on spotlight. Thank you, Arun. Yeah. Okay. So my request, Pooja, you want to add something? Or let me ask, then let me put, do you think a signature says Mahendra Shelke? You've raised his hand. So do you think a signature talks about the personal traits of a person? Because a lot of people keep changing their signatures. Why do you change your signatures? Anybody? I do graphology work changes your personality. So Arya, I know Arya practices graphology. So interestingly, I will take Arya's example. When people actually do stroke changing, even Yogesh ji during his session mentioned that you can actually practice your handwriting, like the way you close your Y's and the way you close your G's, and that's how we can actually build up on our handwriting and thereby build up on our traits. So this was a very informative session where Yogesh ji actually shared that one could actually build up on your traits. Look at the Y's, look at the G's, enjoy the fruits of the effort that you make and close them and enjoy it. Do not leave them halfway. A small change in your Y or your G, your slants, which are backward, which is repressed, or you could make it at least align them straight or make it a little forward. So you can be a little optimistic and forward looking in life. Please analyze your handwriting in light with today's session. It'll help you understand how. And Yogesh ji is there. You can always get in touch with him. His email ID, we will request Yogesh ji to please share your email ID on the chat box so people can take the advantage of getting in touch with you and understanding if they have any doubts. uh, you can actually start working on your strokes, work on your slants. I'll just kind of sum up. So Yogesh ji has put up his email ID and his mobile number. You'll have free to please copy that and access him. Yogesh ji, one thing I think which got left out was pressure handwriting, or I missed it. I apologize if I have missed it. A lot of people write itna daba ke ki that can be read on the second paper or the third paper or the fourth paper also. It makes an imprint. So what does that mean for a person?
Sexual drive to a large extent, and
Sexual drive
sometimes
to
a
a large
frustration also.
frustration and stress, is that what
Sexual drive, high sexual drive.
so I request everybody, if you're writing and you're making an impression with a ballpoint pen on the second page and the third page, try to come out of that. That shows a lot of pressure, that shows a lot of stress, that shows a lot of anxiety that you have, which communicates. So again, to our understanding and little that I have read, your handwriting keeps changing with time. No two handwriting. The handwriting is exactly like your thumb imprint. No two will be the same. It is a science which is used by a lot of forensic experts for analysis of handwriting. Okay, so let me ask another question. जैसे हम वॉइस एनालिसिस करते हैं कि आदमी झूठ बोल रहा है या सच बोल रहा है, वैसे हैंडराइटिंग एनालिसिस करके झूठ और सच बोल सकते हैं क्या? लाइक द पॉलीग्राफ, कैन हैंडराइटिंग be used in lieu of a polygraph? You know polygraph, everybody?
We have a Nivritri Magar,
Yes.
who is a foreign professional. He should be a better person to answer this.
Yes, Nivriti, we want you in the discussion, please. Nivriti, you're there? You're unmuted, but we can't hear you.
So maybe I want to respond to this one.
Yes, please, sir. Please join in.
Polygraph test is basically considered to be just an aid as on today by the courts, for the
Right.
simple reason that seasoned criminals, as all of us are aware, have a tendency to feign, to pretend, to conceal. And I am talking this out of experience with the number of court cases. We are also assigned as vigilance, for inquiries of various people here and there in organizations during our career. So they make you an inquiry officer here and there, and then you have to attend court hearings and things like that. So out of those 30 years, I'm just trying to bring to the kind attention of the delegates here and the honorable speaker that polygraph test is a test which basically, it actually gives you the scientifically gives you the stress levels of a person while he's speaking.
Correct.
And so those stress levels and seasoned criminals basically who are used to telling lies. And polygraph test basically measures 5 characteristics. Your BP, your pulse rate, and your, the sweat which is not visible, because The conductivity of your skin will change if you are under stress due to lying. But these people are so seasoned. That's the only reason I think the reliability of the test is not 100, but it's not considered to be the ultimate indicator of lie or truth base. It is
Well said.
one of the aids, one of
Yeah.
the aids. Okay.
So beautifully said, sir. Like the polygraph is used for detecting whether the statement is true or false. Unlike that graphology cannot be used to analyze whether the statement is true or false. But graphology instead gives traits of the person writing that particular writing, and when he okay. Okay. Chaliye, sir, I think you have to leave. So let me quickly wind up. Uh, so let's say thank you to Yogesh ji, and it's been an amazing session. Thank you so much, sir, for all your insight. There was a lot of learning which went into today's session, and I'm sure everyone's going to carry this forward and use some traits to help us understand our handwriting, develop our handwriting, and thereby develop our personality traits, be more conducive and open to people, gelling with them, not being repressed, but being cursive and being together, working as a team. So there are a lot of takeaways from today's session. Thank you so much, sir. Really appreciate you giving us the time and an honor having you. On behalf of everybody, I take this opportunity to once again thank you. Thank you so much, Yogesh.
Yeah, it was something, really interesting and
Sir, you're muted. Yogesh, sir, you're muted.
I am thankful to get the opportunity. I have to leave. I will not be able to continue for the closing session. Please go ahead. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you so much, sir. Thank you. Good day, sir. Thank you. Thank you once again.
Okay. Okay.
So graphology session, today's session has intrigued us very, very tremendously. I'm sure all of us should start working on our strokes. Check our strokes. If you're writing backwards as repressed, if you're cutting back your name, you write your signature and you cut back. So do not cut yourself in life. Don't put a line across. If you write your signature with your Sumit Kataria, if I say more power to S, then I'm a self-made, self-reliant. I want to push myself. If I rely on my surname K as better, means I need support from my family. So your handwritings, your signatures talk immensely about you. It's a good time to start working back on your strokes. Start writing the Y's and the G's in your free time. It'll get back to you. This is some effort. When you make, it comes back to you. When you close your Y's, when you close your G's, when you're not back slant, you should be forward slant. When you're writing, don't go downwards. You're looking down to life, go upwards. These are small changes which each one can make, and I assure you it makes a difference. At least it's like a manifestation one makes for yourself, that yes, I want to improve myself and I want to be together with people. I don't want to work alone. I want to be connected with people. Start writing more of cursive. Don't write standing single letters. So a lot of learning from today's session, and we thank Yogesh ji. He has had to leave. uh, Again, a big thank you. ICS is pleased to you present all its research and development. We have a lot of publications, and Urja is one of the latest editions. We will have that added in this list. It's about ISO made easy in multiple languages. If you wish to get any of these, may write to Sushma. The number and the email ID is displayed. Please go into www.sadgunsang.org and put in your feedback. It really helps us. If you would like certain sessions to be tailor-made, like good dining etiquettes, good dining principles, or good things that you want to learn, please write to us, and we would love to accommodate them and look for a speaker who would do justice to that topic. Uh, Thank you so much. And with this, if there are any comments, I would welcome them. Else, we will move to the closing ceremony. Sharma ji, any last words you want to add, or anyone from the participants, if you want to add, please unmute yourself after Sharma ji and please give your valuable input.
See, the input here which comes instantly to mind is, why don't we load these books on Amazon also, because that is something which Pratik and I are, make them a little low priced and make them more accessible to people. That's one immediate suggestion, because a lot of people around me are doing that. So number one. Number two, this was a welcome change from the routine, highly technical and highly ISO oriented
Correct.
let's continue with the, because this gives you a lot of
Yeah.
a lot
So
of insights.
a
Yes.
lot of credit goes to Sushma for having, conceived and put this thing together. So thank you to Sushma, who's, tirelessly working in putting the Satgun Sangs and putting them together.
Yes.
So if anyone else wants to add something, Nivriti is our forensic expert. Nivriti, any last words you want to add?
Yeah, the session was too insightful. I had just few thoughts to in line with what the conclusion or the closing statements by yourself. So
Please.
in summary, the graphology is basically a psychophysical science behind the handwriting, but at the same time it just reflects your personality. Okay, it does not define your personality. There are two things. Okay, so as I said, there are few suggestions or corrections when you want to change or alter in your personal traits. So the changing your handwriting, developing your handwriting, yes, that do impact your personality. But at the same time, see, handwriting is your external expression of your thoughts or the beliefs you have inside. Okay, so it's just an expression. The main thing with the handwriting, the emotional intelligence, the internal thoughts has to be altered along with those the parameter that we are looking at. Yes, the graphology is a great science to understand the traits and evaluate yourself, that where you're standing in terms of your emotional intelligence, your emotional expressions and all. But at the same time, we should utilize the science behind it to understand ourselves and improve ourselves by having some corrective measures, by improving the handwriting, by improving the personal traits. And yes, the question I missed was whether the handwriting or a graphological analysis can tell the person, can tell that the person is lying or not. So in my view, the graphology can just indicate whether the person is showing any traits that he is deceiving. Okay, it cannot wholly tell that or express that the person is lying. So that is all from my side. There's a lot to discuss on, but it was very good session, a lot to learn. And thanks Ankit.
Thank you so much, Nivriti, for that insight. But Nivriti, there is a saying which goes, when you start manifesting, आजकल ये बहुत popular हो गया है. पहले जमाने में इसे और words में कहा जाता था, but आजकल manifestation is the in thing. People are manifesting on double digits of clock. People are manifesting on anything that they see is unique. So when you manifest, you think what you want to become, and just like that, graphology is when you practice writing, you reinforce that practice, that no, whatever effort I want to make, I want to close it and I want to enjoy the benefits and not work and not enjoy the benefits. So slowly it becomes a part. So what you say, what you write is what you become. It comes from that common statement, and I'm sure graphology has made a lot of changes. We've seen people changing signatures, we've seen people changing the way they cover themselves, the way they write, and good things happen. It's a part which goes hand in hand with manifestation. Let us all manifest good for each one of us and our families, that may the best be in store for all the participants, all their families, and all the ICS clients at large. With that, have a super weekend. It was honor hosting you all. Look forward to receiving you on the next 235th session of Satgun Sang. Thank you so much. With that pleasure, I would like to close this session. Thank you so much once again. Have a super weekend. Stay safe.